Huh? Huh? Huh?
Hey now, welcome down to KC Toy Reviews. We are here today with a very special review, 6-pack Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by ThreeZero. Very excited to get this one going. I've been waiting for these guys for a long time. Unfortunately, I was never able to get my hands on the Ace Toys one, so to say I was excited that these guys are finally here in the flesh or in the plastic, however we want to put it, is just an understatement. My childhood is sitting right in front of me. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, let's do this. All right, so let's go ahead and get something immediately out of the way. Are they good? Are they bad? The answer is yes, they are absolutely amazing. I was waiting for them to arrive today, and all I saw is people in the groups today going back and forth. It's crap. Ace Toys are better, this or that. I mean, I'm not here to say that the Ace Toys ones are good or bad. I just remember more of a shiny view on these guys. So when I see all the pictures in the groups going back and forth, I personally think that these ones look much better. We also really need to take into the account, they keep going, oh, $100 a figure, $100 a figure. Last I checked, I got these for $550 for 6 of them. So they are less than $100 a figure. A couple things I'm going to point out right away that I heard people complaining about all day, and mixed bags on this, right? So it is very shiny. It imprints very, very easily. So the Blue Ranger I have back there, and I probably won't even see it on film, but I can see little scuffs and little imprints on it that something must have happened during shipping, which I probably will actually contact Sideshow about. But it's very, very easily imprinted. If I just pressed my Spectacular Harry Potter wand on here very hard, you would see a little dent right on there. So the good, the bad, it's shiny, it looks cool, but very, very particular as far as if you pressed your nail against it or if it was, indented against anything, it would probably ruin it. The other piece is it's almost like it's duct tape-ish tape material, right? So right down at the bottom here at the tip, I can actually see that it's lifted just a little bit off the material. So longevity-wise, I would hate, and I'm very, very anal about things like this, I would hate to ever see that thing curl up or anything like that. I would probably try to glue it down or something, but just something to note that it must obviously be resting on here versus imprinted or, woven into the material. Because again, I can see it kind of a little bit raised at the bottom there. So there's that on material. Second thing that I saw a lot of people bitching about was, this is just stupid in my opinion, but this little tiny piece on the Green Ranger / Tommy's chest here, this white piece apparently shouldn't be shown. I saw the Ace Toys, and I would agree it looks maybe a little bit better. However, sorry about that. This gold chest piece is movable. You can actually shift it up a little bit. So if you wiggled it and played with it right, you probably could cover it. So I'm not sure what the issue was on that as far as accuracy. But this tiny, tiny little piece here when they're $90 a piece. But anyways, now the belts would probably be the biggest downfall. Is the cool little buckles here. We have our Morphin timepieces. That's cool, right? But again, it almost feels like a piece of duct tape or some type of just very cheap material that's woven or wrapped around the waist. So was disappointed in that. So I wouldn't mess with them too much. And even the guns or their blasters, whatever we want to call them, that go in the holsters, it feels as if they're more going into a paper / duct tape-ish holster. So don't expect some crazy material on the belts and the holster. It's the same material almost as the chest piece in some weird manner. It's just not shiny. It's just wrapped around there. But it's more paper, duct tape-ish than it is any type of material or leather, if that makes sense. Helmets are very cool. I thought they as far as scale, they did a fantastic job as scale. The one piece that I would compare to the Ace Zero is that the helmets are way glossy. It's interesting the super gloss look that they did And I'll go over the weapons a little bit, but the weapons have actually a little bit of a weather to them. So it's interesting that they did a super gloss on the helmet, a weather on the weapons. I'm not asking for weathering on the headpieces. However, I almost prefer the Ace Zero's matted look / less glossy look versus this super gloss. Anybody who's seen the show knows these guys don't just take a little bit of damage. They take massive damage, like explosions and laser blasts. I mean, they're thrown all over the place. So a little bit interesting on the headpiece super gloss look, but it's not bad. I just think that I would prefer a little bit less of a gloss look and realistic if you're going to give us weapons of their weather. That's all. So I go ahead and say, as somebody who's collecting for 12 to 13 years plus now, one thing that I've started to really appreciate and like is a unique body type. So the reason I brought these two kind of front and forward is they did have a unique body in regards to the men, obviously, in the back. But they have a smaller body type. Even the hands and the pegs had a smaller type of peg that actually, I'll be honest, I've never even seen that small of a peg in hand. So it was pretty exciting to see something a little bit different. Interestingly enough, though, their heads are still in scale with the guys. So Yellow Ranger in particular has kind of a big head. The pink one, it fits. Not that it looked bad or anything, just something to note that the heads are all in scale, yet the bodies are a little bit different in scale. All right, so we're going to jump into the weapons. And one thing to kind of note, I probably should have said this right in the beginning, these guys don't come with any type of stand. These are just some generic stands that I have that I'm going to put them on. I got to go into a 30-second rant. I mean, ThreeZero, what the hell are you thinking? Why in the world would you release these guys without stands, especially some type of custom Power Ranger stands with their names on it? Like, oh my God, if I need to go out and do that, a custom order, you're going to make me spend probably nearly $200 for somebody to custom make stands for all these guys. The other piece would be, what person in the 1/6 scale community doesn't display with a stand? I don't know how these guys would all just stand in my DTOF for the next, several odd years. One of them's going to fall over, especially my kids running around here and there. So very odd decision to not include a stand. I'll just kind of really go on a rant saying, next time you release a guy, just put some stands in there. Maybe even release some stands for us to buy a la carte. It just doesn't make sense to not include stands for us. All right, so as far as weapons go, we have the arrow for the Pink Ranger, which was cool. It came with one arrow. I'm kind of lazy. I'm not even going to show you. It's pretty obvious. It's just an arrow. So it did actually come with an arrow. You can pull back the string on it. Boo! We have the Green Ranger sword. Pretty cool little tassel here. I think they just did a phenomenal job with all the swords and the weapons and stuff. This one in particular was really neat. So you have that guy. We have the Blue Rangers. Size or whatever we call those. Ninja Turtle Raphael-ish. So those are cool. And they do extend. So as you want to morph them, we have that. And we have the Yellow Rangers ones here. These ones don't extend, but you have those. Pretty cool. And we have the Red Rangers. Pretty neat sword there. Always used to be my favorite as a kid, especially with the toys I had. I used to love this sword. Oh! And the last one of the bunch here would be the Black Rangers. And the only piece that kind of moves on here would be this as you morph that into the big weapon here. But yeah, last but not least, this piece, probably one of the most epic pieces of all of them. Actually has some decent weight to it. This is a really great piece here. All right, and lastly would be the super weapon. So all these guys put together, you can make the super weapon. The only kind of odd choice is it's very, very flimsy. So the bow and arrow, it doesn't even click in there. I can actually shift it a little bit back and forth. And then all the weapons, it's pretty neat. They're actually on there magnetically. So let me take the yellow one off there. So they're attached magnetically. Oh, let me see here. Not sure if it's bad or good. I guess it's pretty cool they did that for ease. The only thing, as I was putting them all on, I kept fumbling. If you just kind of touch one, they fall off pretty easy. So we can do the same thing just to show you on that side. They fall off rather easy there. And then the bow went back and forth. So it's just kind of an odd choice that they didn't put some way to snap them in and keep it in place permanently. But it's cool nonetheless that we can do this, so I don't want to complain too much. But yeah, there's the super weapon. So in closing, last thing to note before we go ahead and slap a review would be on the Ace toys. I noticed that there was not the stitching as you see here kind of in the crotch area. And you do have this, I don't want to say horrendous, but pretty big stitching in all the crotch areas of all these guys. So kudos to Ace Toys that they covered that up and kept it seamless. And we do have these, I feel odd just pointing at his crotch over and over, but yeah, we do have this big horrendous seam line on the crotch. But as far as that, the tailoring is pretty spectacular. I like the shinier look. I think it reminds me more of the old school show, so I prefer the shiny look over the more matte look as far as the costume goes. I just wish that the helmets matched a little bit more. But yeah, nonetheless, in closing, just giving these guys kind of a review. And real quick before we do that, we got to really note again, these are about $90 a piece. Everybody's going to have different shipping variations, and we can't blame Sideshow or the companies for the shipping. So we're really looking at the price of these figures right around 90-ish if you did the 6-pack. Not sure in my life if I've ever got a 1/6 scale licensed for under $100 or $100 nonetheless. Not through eBay or something. We're talking brand new through Sideshow. So probably one of the best values I've ever collected in my life. So let's go ahead and close this out with a review and slap a score on these guys. And we're going to be fair. Not going to go ahead and just tie the price into this one. We're really going to look at them as a 1/6 scale figure representation of the Power Rangers in front of us. I'm going to give these guys an 8.2 out of 10. I couldn't imagine much different. Maybe correct a little bit of the seam in the crotch area. I don't know if I can knock the figures in the score based off of a stand, but ThreeZero, dear God, give us a goddamn stand if you're going to give us 6 scale figures. These are going to fall in our cases without a stand, so it's just the most ridiculous thing to not give us a stand. Nonetheless, they look amazing. They represent the childhood figure that I remember from the show. I just can't stress enough the figure, the weapons, what they stand for. I just think they did a phenomenal job with this. 8.2 out of 10. Power Rangers. ThreeZero signing off.
Huh?